Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakodi Samabhrava Avignan Kuru Me Deva Sarvakareshu Sarvada Saraswati Mahabhage Vidye Kamalalochane Vidyarupe Vishalakshi Vidyam Dehi Namostute Ideye Sarva Vidyanam Vishajeva Varodhinam Gurave Sarvalokanam Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. First of all, I congratulate all the students here for having chosen engineering as your pursuit. And I also appreciate the efforts of TKS College of Technology and for their performance so far. I hope you are okay with my English, all right? Who is not okay with the English? Who wants me to talk in Tamil? Raise your hands. All right? I may help you with Tamil also. Tamil பேசுற இங்கிலீஷ்ல பேசுறது பரவாயில்லையா? Objection தான் சொல்லுங்க. Try பண்ணுங்க. Okay? Is it okay? Are you able to follow my English? Is it okay? There's no problem? Then I will continue to speak in English. If you don't understand, please raise your hand. Because communication is two-sided. I can't be just talking and you don't understand. There is no meaning of me talking. Yeah? Therefore, let's try. Okay? Can you try? Yes or no? Louder. Can we try? Yes. Once more. Can we try in English? Yes. How about girls? I didn't hear the voice. Can you try? Yeah. First, it comes to my mind. To have a human body is a very rare thing. மனித உடலை நாம் பெற்றிருப்பது என்பது மிகவும் அரிதானது. அரிது மானிடராய் பிறத்தல் அரிது. அதிலும் கூன் குருடு இல்லாமல் பிறப்பது மிகவும் அரிது. ஏன் இது அரிது என்று சொன்னால், why this human body is something different, something very interesting, something very important? Because this human body is created in such a way that it can also create. The God is the creator. God creates the world. Janmadhyasya Brahma Sutram. It is coming in Brahma Sutram itself. That means the Jagat Karanam. The Karanam, the cause, the reason for the earth, for all the universe to exist is God. Next to God, a human being has the power to create. To create. What you mean by creation? படைப்பு என்பது என்ன? To create, you need two things. One is intelligence. Without intelligence, you can't create anything. And you need a material. And you need a knowledge. You need all the three to create. All these three things are there with human beings next to God. The whole intelligence principle is pervading everywhere. Inside the human being, in a tree, in a cow, in every place. எல்லா இடங்களிலும் இந்த இன்டெலிஜென்ஸ் என்று சொல்லப்படுகிற சைத்தனம் சேத்தனம், the life principle, உயிர் தத்துவம் எல்லா இடத்திலும் இருக்கிறது. என்னிடம் மட்டுமில்லை, உங்களிடம் மட்டுமில்லை, இங்க கூட இருக்கு. There are so many microbes living here. When I speak, there are so many microbes that may die. I'm not aware of this. This is not said by me. This is said by Swami in US. You cannot do something good all the time. When you do something good, something bad happens also. It's called Dvandva. That means two things happen at the same time. Therefore, if you look at the human body itself, why I am talking about human body is It is closely connected to engineering. The whole creation is engineering. The best designer is God. He has created this world. Can any of you find any small mistake in the universe? Absolutely perfect. The universe, the stars are there and they all move with the sound. Oh, that's what is Om. The stars move in galaxy. And our sun itself is a star. It's a small star. There are bigger stars than the sun. All the planets are moving. Our earth is moving around sun. Absolutely there is no mistake in that. It has been doing its job perfectly well. The sun appears to be rising. The sun appears to be setting. There is day and night. Just imagine if there is no day and night. இரவு பகல் என்று ஒன்று இல்லாமல் இருந்தால் எப்படி இருக்கும் என்று நினைத்து பாருங்கள். இரவாகவே இருந்தால் எப்படி இருக்கும்? And the four seasons, summer, autumn, winter, spring, it is not that boring. Life is never boring. Life is always interesting. Changes happen. And everything is happening in a perfect way. If there is anything defective in their creation, that is my mind. That is my mind. The only human mind can do something which is detrimental, which is against nature. A human being can create, a human being can destroy, a human being can save money and build huge buildings like this. We have not seen cows doing it. You may argue a bird, or kaka, kuruvi, or a kodu nest. When compared to human capacity, it is nothing, negligible. That's why the capacity of the human beings of intelligence, creation, can never be compared to that of any other living beings. This is something great. That's why when we are born as human beings, we should first ask the question, why do I live and how do I live? Why do I live is a big question. You cannot answer it right now. But you know, and you must know how do I live. இரண்டு கேள்விகள் இருக்கின்றன. ஏன் பிறந்தேன்? என்ன செய்வதற்காக பிறந்தேன்? How do I live? எப்படி வாழ்வது? எப்படி வாழ்வது என்பதை முதலில் கற்றுக்கொள்ள வேண்டும். ஏன் பிறந்தேன் என்பதை பின்னர் தான் தெரியும். கொஞ்சம் போக கற்றுட்டு தான் தெரியும். Because the whole universe is made of two things. One is, it is coming in Bhagavad Gita. Dvahimau Purushau Prokau Chara Chara Evacha Chara Sarvani Bhutani Pudasto Acharaha. That means there are two things. One is moving, perishable, the other is imperishable. There are only two things in the universe. The perishable thing is all the bhautikam, the materials, the five elements. And that which doesn't perish, that which is always there, is the life principle behind all the materials. Whatever we see, just imagine, is there anything else apart from the five elements that are there that we know? Space, air, fire, water, land. These are all the only five things in the body, in the universe. There is nothing else than that. Can any of you tell me there is something else other than this? You take this phone, you take this paper, you take any material, you take your own body. There is nothing else other than these five physical elements. But there is a human being who can walk. There is a bird who can fly. But this does not fly. It is dancer. So what is the difference? We all know this doesn't have life. இதுக்கு உயிர் இல்லை. அதனால் இது நடக்கவில்லை. ஒரு எறும்புக்கு உயிர் இருக்கிறது, அது ஓடுகிறது. The whole universe is built with just two things. One is perishable, the other is imperishable. As engineers, we see things which are perishable and we try to create devices with these things. But we should always think that there is something which is non-perishable, which exists in me, in you, and here also, everywhere. This is very, very, very important. The intelligent principle, a potter, ஒரு குயவன் ஒரு மண்பானையை செய்ய வேண்டும் என்று சொன்னால் குயவன் வேண்டும். குயவன் செய்பவன், கடவுளை போன்று சிருஷ்டி செய்பவன் குயவன். அவன் ஒரு பானையை மண் இல்லாமல் செய்ய முடியாது. அந்த பானையை செய்வதற்கு ஒரு டெக்னாலஜி வேண்டும். வீல் வேணும், சுத்தணும். நீங்கள் பண்ண முடியாது. We can be great engineers, but we cannot be like a potter because we need the skill, we need the technology to apply, and it is engineering. பொறியியல், பொறியை செய்வதுதான் பொறியாளர். Device, one who devises, one who designs, one who creates is engineer. Based on the society, based on the economy, based on science. That's all about engineering. What is engineering? Now, the definition of engineering, as it is said, is the application of scientific, economic, social, and practical knowledge to invent, design, build, etc. புரியுறதா? இன்வென்ட் கண்டுபிடிப்பதற்காகவும், டிசைன் வடிவமைப்பதற்காகவும், பில்ட் கட்டுவதற்காகவும், application of scientific, economic, and social and practical knowledge. செய்முறை அறிவை, சமுதாயத்தையும் பொருளாதாரத்தையும் விஞ்ஞானத்தையும் பயன்படுத்தி பொறிகளை நமக்கு உபயோகமாக அமைப்பதுதான் பொறியியல். It's all about. But this engineering is done by God so beautifully. If you miss that point, you will not become good engineers. That's what is the point I want to make. In the beginning, we had 3 prayers. The one is about Vinayaka. You know why? Vinayaka is called Vigneshwara. Vignam means tadai, that which is an obstacle to our progress. In our country, in tradition, we worship Vinayaka to remove hurdles. That's why we are successful. The second prayer was for Saraswati. Saraswati is considered to be the goddess of education. Therefore, I said the second prayer. I have not told these things without meaning. There is a meaning. There is an intelligence behind this. Therefore, we pray Saraswati. She is the embodiment of education. We can't see education. If I write education, can you see education? But you can see education in Saraswati. Veena, Pustoham, or Amma, or Devi or Divarke. As a Paku Murda, this is our tradition, this is our culture. If you miss this, we miss everything. And now we are in the threshold of the world to show a way to the world. இந்த உலகுக்கு வழிகாட்டுகின்ற ஒரு நிலையில் இந்தியா இருக்கிறது. நேற்று கூட யோகா டே நடந்தது, வேர்ல்டு யோகா டே. நினச்சி பார்க்க முடியுமா? Just 68 years before, we were slaves. We were ruled by the British. I was there in Britain 3 years before. And I have seen in our Indian house, an European is working, cleaning the toilet. It is happening. Cooking. In the US, I went and saw there is a Mexican and there is an European coming and working in the house of an Indian. This may happen to you. 60 years before, this was not imaginable. Today, our Prime Minister has declared one day with the help of United Nations to celebrate yoga. Yoga is so good. We are teaching the world through yoga and meditation. We are teaching the world. We are helping the world through computer engineering, IT, information technology. And you are all going to be part of that. 100, 150 years before, it was absolutely unimaginable. What we say is yoga asana. That is only the third in 8. Ashtanga Yogam is declared to the world by Patanjali Rishi. That comes as a Upa Angam of the Veda under the Nyaya Shastra. It has Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, and Dhyanam, and then Samadhi. Samadhi is Aikyam with God. I am Vyashti, the individual, the Samashti, the universal, merging together. Where I came from, I go back. And that's the end of life. If I don't do that, Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam. I'll be born again. I don't know whether as a goat or a scorpion. Scorpion and I don't know. If I want to complete my life in a perfect way, yoga is necessary not just to do the physical action. Physical action to keep you fit is one of the 8 items. You got yama. Yama means how you should behave with others. I have to treat the other person respectfully. I have to love the other person. Yeah, that is yama. Yama has got many branches, 5 points there. I have to speak satyam. I have to speak truth. And I should not hurt the other person, ahimsa. And niyama is something that I have to control myself internally. What I should do to myself. Saucham. I have to be clean. I have to be pure. Internally by my mind and externally by my words and action. So yama, niyama, and then asana. And then you got pranayama, the control of your breath. Mucha control. This is a great science which has been taught to the world. Maybe some of you will become to lead the world in helping the children to grow in the proper way. It is not just the human body. The human body and mind is very closely built together. If my mind is agitated, I have ulcer. Do you know that? Ulcer cannot be cured by medicine if you don't change your way of life. And if you hold the bag on one side, your body will be bending like this. And there is a very close direction. If somebody is scolding you all the time, you will go to depression. Medicines cannot just change. And you know, yoga, the only in yoga, in the exercise, you can activate the internal parts, like your pancreas, kanayam, eral, nureiral. இதெல்லாம் activate பண்ணனா யோகால தான் முடியும். By just running, you can't do that. You can breathe faster. It may help your blood system. You go to gym and do any kind of exercise. If you don't go to gym for 4 days, your weight will increase by 2 kilos. But yoga does it. For yoga, you don't need any equipment. Wherever is so simple and so great. So this is one example of how we understand nature and how to make the society better and happier. As engineers, you have a different role. You can practice your yoga, you can help the society, but you have got a special quality to do. What is that? That is, you are a creator, a mini creator, an individual creator like God. God, when He creates, He doesn't need any material from outside. You know that? கடவுள் சிருஷ்டி செய்வதற்கு பொருள் எங்கிருந்து வருகிறது? கடவுளுக்கு அப்புறம் முன்னாடி யாருமே கிடையாது. புருஷே வைதகம் சர்வம் யத் பூதம். There is only God, nothing else. Where He get the material from? For a potter, he can get material, the clay, from outside. And he knows the technology, therefore he can make a pot. You are an engineer, you are going to build probably a new car which will be running with a fuel which is very efficient. There you got engineering. Engineering is building a device. And technology, you may use a technology, magno technology. You are trying to fly on magnetic field. That is technology. The science is that the nuclear physics is a science. Nuclear reactor is engineering product. So the engineering, technology and science are closely interlinked. Scientists finds a phenomenon. When the apple falls, you will say there is a gravitational force. It's science. There is some research. In technology, Bluetooth is a technology. Isn't it? iPad, when you use. And you use different technologies. Technologies get developed when you use devices. So science helps technology. Technology helps engineering. Engineering helps technology and reverse to science. All these three are interlinked. Scientists use the technologies that engineers create to conduct their research. Microscope is one example. You are going to create a new microscope which is going to cost less. There is one more point in engineering. Very, very important. It has to be economical. If you are finding a car, you build a new car which will run on solar energy, but it will cost 20 lakhs. Who will buy it? Well, you need to create something which is new, at the same time economical. That's one very important aspect of engineering. பொறியியல் என்பது சிக்கனமாகவும் இருக்க வேண்டும். பொருளாதாரத்தின் அடிப்படையிலே அது உபயோகமாக இருக்க வேண்டும். I was working with companies like Toshiba, Hitachi, NEC, all these Japanese companies for about 20 years in Tokyo. You know one thing, they are the great engineers, one of the greatest engineers in the world, because they will give application to any idea that comes from America. The Americans find iPad, the Americans invent something new, and the Japanese put it practically and reduce the cost and make it more applicable and useful to life. If engineering is not useful to life, why people should respect us? Well, you see, the beginning of engineering is roads and bridges. It's being used in military. If roads and bridges are not filled, there will not be any army in the world. And later during the Second World War, they found atomic bomb, planes, all these supersonic jets, missiles, all these things came. It keeps changing. It will keep changing. Then we come back to the potter, the God, the creator. What he did, he had his own material and he had his own intelligence and he created the world. But human being, we have one shortcoming when compared to God. You are all going to be future bright engineers, I hope. நீங்கள் எல்லாம் பிரகாசமான அறிவுள்ள சிறந்த பொறியாளர்களாக ஆவீர்கள் என்று நான் நம்புகிறேன். நீங்கள் நம்புகிறீர்களா? Yes, you all believe. Self-confidence will be there. I hope you are going to show a new technology, new thing. What would be the next energy in the world? Do you know that? After electricity, supposing electricity is band karo electricity. Electricity is முடிவு ஒரு வாரத்துக்கு. There will not be milk. First, milk எல்லாம் ஃப்ரிட்ஜில் தான் வரும். In some of the countries, children do not know where the milk comes from. ஃப்ரிட்ஜில் இருந்து வருதுன்னு நினச்சிருக்கேன். You don't know where the milk comes from. And most of the food articles are in the fridge. And if the lights go on, you can't study. Just imagine the world without electricity for a week. The world will come to a grinding halt. The hospitals will not function. The plane cannot take off because the software system to take off and landing is there. We did it in HCL. I don't know. Our engineers decide that. The internal system that is working in plane is there. What would be the next source of energy? No one knows. Is it going to be solar energy? Is it going to be geothermal energy? Is it going to be ocean wave energy? Is it going to be windmill energy? Don't know. Maybe some of you, one of you, try to find out what is interesting, what is useful to this country and to the world. We are simply copying. We are sitting under a concrete building. Who said we should live like this? We're going to make a circle open in the center and make the sunlight fall. We are making so many tube lights useless. So many fans working here. When you come inside, the wind is blowing. Look at the tree. Look at those leaves. They are just fluttering. And we are using the fan. Who is spending this electricity? Why are we paying this electricity? Just imagine. I'm just filling your thoughts for young girls and boys. Why should we do this? We are just copying the Europeans. We are just copying the foreigners. Do we need in a country which is very hot, a concrete building closed, and you generate electricity, transmit, distribute, and then get it to 440 volts and 230 volts? You transform electricity from 11,000 volts to 4 lakhs volts nowadays. It's a high voltage. And then you drop it down to 33,000 volts and then bring it 440 and then you work here. I'm just giving one example to kindle your thought. You can think of that creation. God created this world with His own intelligence, with His own material. You know how? Like the spider. You know the spider? The spider never wants any material to build its nest. The spider's web can be built by the spider by its own saliva. That's how the world was created by God. God is the intelligent cause, also the material cause of the universe, including you and me, where we came from. In mother's womb, we were a dot. And today I am just standing so big by just eating food and drinking juices. And I remember my name after having grown so big. Just tonight, I was like this. Now I am so big, and I still remember that the same old boy is the same this person. It's a magic. It's a magic. But God can do the magic. But as human beings, as engineers, you are going to have a great job of building, devising, designing, finding new things so that human beings can be happy. You should be happy and people must be happy. This should only be your task. Nobody wants to be sad. Is there anybody who wants to be sad in this assembly? Please raise your hands. Is there anybody who wants to cry? No. You can, as human being, you can never wish for that. Therefore, science and engineering and technology, they are very closely connected, help each other. This all has come from God. You have seen, God is the best designer. Just look at this body. I have 2 hands, 2 ears, 2 eyes. If one goes, the other works. It's got an alternate engine. It's like electricity goes, you've got a generator. Look at God. He thought of that failure. He gave 2 eyes. One electricity, the other is generator. It works. And when it works, the God, science, the thought, look at my face. All important 5 sense organs are here, except the swarsam, that touch. Ears, eyes, nose, mouth, tongue, the taste, everything is closely connected to the brain. And so beautifully done. And anywhere, any touch that comes, and the message goes through the motor cells, nervous system to the brain. It's a beautiful design. What else you need? Paravayai Parthan Vimanam Padaitan. There is a poem also. There is a song. Everything we have created by seeing nature. Animals, trees, nature, and it teaches us. Newton has found apple falling, and Einstein has said theory of relativity by looking at the universe. We are getting information through the 5 sense organs, and if an engineer uses these sense organs properly and take the help of scientists, you can invent, you can devise something which is useful to the society and yourself. This is how you should be able to think in your future. Maybe you are young now. Engineering study is only ABC, it's only beginning. Have you seen any great engineer just immediately after his education going and building a dam? Can you name one great engineer from India? Dr. Visvesvaraya, who is the Bharat Ratna, the highest award. He did what? Can any of you tell me what was the greatest thing that he did? He was the chief engineer for Mysore Krishnaraja Sagar. He was the engineer in the 1850s, 80 years, exactly to say September 1860. And he lived for 102 years, 1962. He was a great engineer from India. And he got Bharat Ratna. And G.V. Naidu. You must all know about G.V. Naidu, Coimbatore. And his inventions really threatened the British. His inventions were astonished. The Americans were astonished to look at the findings of G.V. Naidu. But in the recent years, we have started just copying iPad. We are just copying Toshiba. We are just copying the foreign countries. And we should think what we should do which is useful to this country as well as other countries. The world is becoming highly materialistic. And we are trying to find which are not useful and necessary for us. We need so many televisions, this 3D, and then all kinds of things, and all the women sitting and seeing the TV serial all the time. We need to think differently, which is useful to the people, which keeps people as people, human beings as human beings. You know one thing? The human being is born as an animal, like an animal. We have hunger, we eat. Animals also do that. If we just die like that, there is no difference between animals and human beings. The human being has to become a good worker and a good thinker, enjoyer, experiencer. God, dogs, animals, all animals, cows, lion, everything does only two things. They just experience things that are outside, they eat. That's all. And I was born like that as a child. But when I grow, I work intelligently, like a fraction, like a part of God Himself as the Creator. That's why we're all lucky having chosen engineering as your course. That's what I want to say here. Congratulate you for choosing this. And to carry forward, you should understand that there are only two things in this world. One is perishable, that is anatma, which is not a sentient principle. There is atma, a sentient principle behind everything. And you go with the sentient principle and the natural law, the Ishvara's law which is ruling everywhere. If you understand it closely, you will be a successful person. You will be a successful human being, successful engineer. That's very important. Human body we are talking about. Just imagine that I like the eyes here, the ears here, but nose I don't like. I would like this nose to be just upside, like this. அப்படி நினச்சி பாருங்களேன், இந்த மூக்கை அப்படி வைக்கிறோம். எதுக்காக கடவுள் மூக்கை அப்படி வச்சிருக்காரு தெரியுமா? ஒரு காஃபி சாப்பிடும்போது கொண்டு வந்தால் ஃப்ளேவர் வந்து வாய்க்குள்ள போட்டு பண்ணி டிகிரி காஃபி நர்சூஸ் ஐ நோ nowadays நர்சூஸ் கிடையாது. nowadays it's holiday coffee day coffee day or Starbucks green color Starbucks. I can understand. Suppose if I take something, என்னப்பா ஒரே நாத்தம் நீங்க தீண்டி போச்சா, over fried. I can understand. Before the food goes into my mouth is here, nose is here, I take the cup here, it tells me, it warns me, don't eat it, you will be in trouble. Therefore, God is so intelligent enough to keep the nose this way. Another thing, imagine, அப்பத்துக்கு மேலே இருந்துச்சா நான் டீலாம் மூக்குள்ள இருக்கணும். Then I will be choking, I cannot be breathing. So, this is engineering. This is devising. And you should know one thing. கார் இருக்குன்னு வச்சுக்கலாம், ஒரு கார். அதுக்கு என்னென்ன இருக்கு? டயர்ஸ் இருக்கு, கீழே செசிஸ் இருக்கு, ஒரு ஸ்டேரிங் இருக்கு, டேஷ்போர்ட் இருக்கு. எல்லாத்துக்கும் கூட ஒரு பஸ் பார்னு கொடுத்துருக்கான் பர்டிகுலர் டொயோட்டா காரில் தான். அதில் வந்து காம்ப்ளிகேட்டட் ஒயரிங் இருக்கு, என்ஜின் இருக்கு, முக்கியமாக எல்லாத்தோட என்ஜின் இருக்கு. இது எல்லாத்தையும் சப்போஸ் டயர்லாம் தூக்கி மேலே வச்சு அந்த பாடியை வந்து டோர்லாம் மூடாமல் எல்லாத்தையும் திறந்து வச்சுட்டு ஸ்டீரிங் தூக்கி பின்னாடி வச்சாக்க, would you call it an assembly? What is it? It is junk of materials. It's not an assembly. Assembly is an intelligently put together device. Repeat. Assembly is intelligently put together and it's a device. It's not intelligently put together, it's just a junk of materials like in the Kuppakuda. This body is intelligently built by God and it gives a great example. The bird gives the example to fly and everything around us is tricking our knowledge to build the device. And if we can take this from nature, from our own body, would you all be successful leaders? I will just say a few words which you may need in your career or life. To review, you should know about two engineers I said. This is G.D. Naidu and Visvesvaraya. So, one of you should become Visvesvaraya engineer. Afterwards, I will never hear. Nowadays, the names are coming about the techies, the great techies. Can you name any great Indian engineer today in the world? No? I'll tell you. Some of them were working with me. There was one Vinit Nair. He was from Brisbane College. He was working with me. And you know, he has contributed 150 crores of rupees to Punjab government for education. Just overnight, one night he gave 150 crores for education. Because he has achieved everything in his life. He is my friend. So like, you can do great things. And he wrote an article called Employee First, Customer Second. And that subject is being taught in Harvard University. We are working together. He was my colleague. So some of you can become like that. I'll just name a few so that you can understand who are these great engineers currently from our country. Satya Nadella. He was the chief executive of Microsoft. He replaced Steve Ballmer. You guys should try to understand and know these things as example. Somebody should tell you want to become Sachin Tendulkar. You want to become somebody like that. Then you need to work hard. You need to know what they did. Right? Suddenly you can't become Sachin Tendulkar. You need to bat every day and practice. And find out what Satya Nadella did to become the chief executive of Microsoft. He's an Indian. I'm just giving the names. Vinod Dham is the father of Pentium processor Intel. You know, all computers have Intel chip inside. Intel Inside, they call it. And this chip is powered by Vinod Dham, an Indian. Do you know that? And then Shantanu Narayan. He is the CEO of Adobe. Adobe is a software. For Word, if you send a Word document, it becomes in Adobe. And you can't open it. You can open it, but you can't change it. It's Adobe software. And for this, the chief engineer, the chief executive officer, is an Indian. His name is Shantanu Narayan. You want me to name a Tamilian? He is Sundar Pichai. He is from Tamil Nadu. He studied in IIT Kharagpur and he further studied in Stanford University in the US. You know what he did? You are searching in Google. Google pandringilla. Google. And the Google made Gmail and the Gmap design பண்ணது அவர்தான். It's all not some American did. It is done by Pichai. நம்ம ஊர் பிச்சை தான் பண்ணிருக்காரு. He is behind that. And then I can name so many. But today there is this person, Vishal Sikka. He is declared to be the 34th top CEOs of the world. 50 persons were declared in that Infosys. Vishal Sikka is considered to be 34th. This survey is done by Glassdoor survey. So why I am telling all these things is some of you, while pursuing your education, while being happy by yourself, try to achieve some of these things. And finally, 4 points for you. Carry away. What is the carry away? Parcel number America, what is the carry away? What should I pack and take? For that, I'll give you 4 points. On time, every time. Be punctual. Be punctual. On time. India's greatest problem is our Prime Minister declared 2 things thanks to him. One is Saucham, cleanliness. தூய்மை. புறத்தூய்மை, அகைத்தூய்மை. அடுத்து யோகா. அதுக்கு அடுத்து இது அனௌன்ஸ் பண்ணணும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். அவர் அனௌன்ஸ் பண்ணுறது முன்னாடி நான் அனௌன்ஸ் பண்ணுறேன். Punctual. Be punctual. On time, every time. Second point, do it yourself. Never depend on somebody. நம்ம ஊரில் எப்படி எங்கேயாவது வழி போகணுன்னாக்கா இந்த எப்படி போகிறது, லெஃப்ட்டில் போகிறது, ரைட்டில் போகிறதா. Immediately ask somebody and we need the help of somebody. 50 years ஆகிட்டுனா போதும் ஈஸ்டில் படுத்துட்டு அப்பா தண்ணி கொடுறா. I have seen Japanese 80 years they work. 85 years they work. They do social service without anybody's assistance. Therefore, getting age is not necessary that we should depend on somebody. If every day is an examination day, there is no fear of examination. Think that every day is your examination. What for? Do your homework. Don't want somebody to tell you to study. You make it a habit that you examine yourself every day and there will be no examination because you are practicing examination yourself. And nobody is going to examine. That's going to help you. And above all, I told God is creator. We are all small creators with one difference that God had the material and knowledge by himself. And he gave the knowledge to us, a fraction of his knowledge to us. There is one thing that all human beings can do. Only one thing. That is a clear mind. The dirty thoughts are removed. Always be with good thoughts. Think good, be good and do good. The clear mind, a pure mind, God will come and sit there. And the mind should be focused. Focused on one thing at a time. And have a clear mind. You can achieve everything in the world. There is nothing that will be left. Absolutely, it is important. And always have good company. Have good company. Not for the woman. For both girls and boys. Nowadays even girls do that. Therefore I am warning. If girls themselves or becoming a target of bad habits, the society will perish. I worship all girls and women as goddesses. You are very important for the society. The Indian society is teaching the whole world how mothers should be. And if women themselves do not follow certain disciplines, the world will perish. Men cannot save the world. Only women as gods and goddesses can save the world. Therefore, if some indiscipline is happening, it's the girl, it's the woman who should stop it first. It's very important as a duty. Because you have the responsibility of children tomorrow. Every girl is going to become a mother. And mother is the first God. Therefore, you need to retain that divinity in you. That's very, very important. Of course, it's equally important for boys. Therefore, be in satsang. Satsang is a good company. With some great Mahatmas, try to find somebody who is good to you, who can help you. It's very important. With this, I would like to conclude this session, and we have some rest for some time, and then we will meet again here for doing something together more interesting. I wish you all the best. I pray Adi Guru Prajnananda Dakshinamurti to give you all good health, very good knowledge, and a prosperous future, a peaceful mind. Good Lord Mahari Guru.